Hello Matt, it's just a quick video to show you around your new camper and kind of a handover video for you. Just going to have a quick walk around first, show you the black gloss alloy wheels have been fitted for you. The California bike rack with the upgraded boot struts is down on the back of the vehicle. The Remo warning rails on the side there for you. We'll show you around the van. The rest of the extras will get put in the van before it comes down tomorrow, and as I spoke to you earlier on, the lads will be down with you probably between 11 and 12 o'clock tomorrow, just to drop it off, and hopefully we'll cover everything in this video that you should need to know about the van. Right, just inside the door here there's an internal lock button. We use this button to lock the van when you're camping in it. It locks the central door locking, but it doesn't set the internal sensors. So if you are moving about in the van, you won't set the alarm off in the middle of the night. Just down on the B pillar there's also another switch that turns off the internal sensors. If you press that button first, before you press the central door locking button, it'll also lock the doors without setting the internal sensors. So if you're locking kids in the van or a dog or something like that and you don't want to set the internal sensors, you can do it that way as well. By then unlocking the van and then locking it again, it automatically resets, so you don't need to press that button again to reset it. Just back from the chrome bar here, just so you know what it is your exhaust outlet for your diesel heater. Just back from the chrome bar at the back here, you've also got water outlet for your waste water. So waste water coming direct out your sink, comes direct out the bottom of the van. Most of the time you're going to be parked on grass, most people aren't fussed about it, but if you do want to put a washing up bowl or something like that underneath it to catch it, you can. Your water fill points here, when the cap spins around it's locked. You put it in the upright position, put the key in, turn the key to the left, undo the cap to the left as well. Fill it up from the outside. Obviously fresh water for your water tank. It's got a level gauge inside the vehicle, which we'll show you when we get inside it. There's an overflow pipe behind this wheel, which when the tank's full, the overflow pipe overflows underneath the vehicle, so you know the tank's full. Obviously with the onboard water tank having an overflow pipe in the top of the tank, if you do leave home with a full tank, it can slop about a bit, so don't be surprised if you don't turn up on site with a full tank of water. 240 hookup points here as well. You plug your hookup lead in. If you want to release it, you just press the blue button and then pull the lead out. Caddy racks on the back here. Just pull it down like so. And we've got the bars that come across to lock onto the crossbars. The keys for these will be in the glove box. There's 4 locks on all these, but they're all the same key, but you will get 4 keys for it. So on this one you've got number 1 here, number 2, number 3, and this one here goes bike 3 to 4. These are fully adjustable in and out by sliding it. These go round the wheels, and the wheel itself goes in that way round, and then you put the strap and strap the wheels into place. Again, there'll be a booklet for that inside the vehicle as well. Large storage space under the back here, matching table. You don't have to leave it there, we just leave them there when they're on the forecourt. So that will go anywhere on the sliding rail inside the van. If you want to put the leg down, you just push the button in the middle there, pushing the leg out. If you want to put it down again, you just press the button, click it back down. Blast proof gas container in the back here. If you want to release it, you just undo both clips at the same time, pull the lid off. Blast proof gas container in there. It takes a 907 camping gas, got an inbuilt regulator on there. That part screws straight onto the top of the gas bottle. It's got a brass tap there, positive and negative, just turn it on and off. And there's also gas bottle strap there as well. Main cupboard for your electrics is in the back here. Up the top here you've got your 12 volt fuses for your appliances in the back, like your lights, water pump, fridge and so on. There's symbols next to all the fuses if you do want to check them, but generally you don't have any problems with them at all. On the left here we've got your split charger fuse. The top one's a fuse, the bottom one's a spare. It's fused at the front and the rear of the vehicle for safety, not because we have any problems with it. Again, you should never need to touch that. Just down from there you've got your diesel heater fuses. Down the bottom here, you've got your 240 trips like your normal household trips at home would be. When they're all in the up position, they're red, they're on. If they're green and down, they've tripped. So just, if you do need to check them, that's what position they need to be in. On the right hand side here, we've got your trickle charger. There's an on and off button on that trickle charger. We suggest leaving it pushed on at all times, so the trickle charger works as soon as you're on hookup. You don't need to worry about the trickle charger being on all the time because it's voltage sensitive. When it's full, it will turn itself off. Top here, you've got your solar panel charge controller again as well. You don't need to touch this, it will look after itself. If you are wondering what it's doing, the left hand light there, it's got a panel symbol below it. It's showing it's currently producing power from the solar panels. On the right hand side there, you've got another light, and below that you've got a battery symbol. If it's solid green like it is at the moment, it's showing it's in good condition. If it's flashing green, it's showing that it's totally full and it's switched itself off, and if it's amber or red, it's getting flat. The bottom here now, you've got 2 leisure batteries within this box section, so if you do need to get to leisure batteries, you just need to unscrew this lower box section to get to them. Just out on the side here, you've got another access door into the rear cupboard, so if you don't want to get out the conversion, you want to get something out the rear cupboard, you can get it out of there. Spare wheels underneath the back of the vehicle on a cradle. Standard steel spare wheel. You use it as an emergency get you home sort of scenario. It is a steel spare wheel. They do take different wheel bolts from the alloy wheels, so we do supply a set of steel wheel bolts up at the front of the glove box, which we'll show you when we get there in a moment. Obviously you've got the 20-inch alloy wheel option on this. You won't find the tyre pressures for these in the handbook or the door shuts or anything, but just so you know, we always run them at 40 psi all the way around. Give good ride with that, and nice even wear on the tyres. Front here is your fuel flap. On the fuel flap there is a bung that sticks out from the side, so that gets stuck behind the passenger door. If you want to open the fuel flap, you just need to open the passenger door just to draw a jar before you open the fuel flap. At the top there you've got diesel, at the bottom there you've got AdBlue. AdBlue is an additive that all Euro 6 compliant diesels are now running on. It basically squirts it into the exhaust system, cleans the emissions up in the diesel particulate filter. It doesn't use a lot. There's a range for it on the fuel computer. They usually go at about 2,000 or 3,000 miles worth in. When the range gets down between 12 and 1,500 miles, it will start pinging up when you start the vehicle, and it'll just keep counting itself down. If you want to top it up, just sort of put in 5 litres at a time and give it a chance to update, and it will be fine again. If you do let it go down to 0 mileage though, it will refuse to start the vehicle, so just keep an eye on that. Front there, yeah, you've got manual now for the back cycle rack. There's some paperwork in the front here about your diesel heater. There is main manual for the vehicle. There's your locking wheel nut key in there, and your spare wheel bolts. Got your keys the front here, also for your bike rack on the back, and then there's a tool there if you do want to undo the bike rack and remove it. Fridges on these conversions are wired, so there's power to them at all times, so you don't need to touch the rear power pack to turn the fridge on. But if you want to use a fridge, you can just open the door, and there's a power switch here just on the left hand side. You push it down, hold it down for a few seconds, and the fridge will turn on, and it will settle down on one of the first 1 to 4 settings. If you want to scroll through the power settings, or the temperature settings should I say, just press it like so. The lower down it is, the colder the fridge will run. On this particular fridge as well, we've got the removable freezer panel, so if you do want to remove the freezer and use it as a complete fridge, you can just pull out the top freezer panel. Again, with a fridge, if you're not going to use it for a day or two, just turn it off by holding the button in like that, and the lights will go out. Once you finish using it, if you do want to ventilate it, you can pull this blue clip around, and it will allow the fridge just stay shut with the door just slightly open, so you can vent it. If you then want to shut it properly again, you just open it up, flick the blue clip round, shut it like so. Bottom cupboard here, we've got jack and wheel brace, and we also supply it with a secondary wheel brace. It's an extendable one, it's a lot nicer than the standard one, but on the end of it, it's got a double-ended socket. So at one end it's got 17mm, at the opposite end you've got 19mm. The spare wheel carrier underneath the back of the vehicle is on 19mm. Your spare wheel bolts are on 19mm. Your alloy wheels on 17mm. So hence we supply you a socket for both. In the floor there's a vent, and also up the top in this cupboard there's a gas isolation tap for your appliance, just there to make it gas compliant. It's currently on the on position. Back here we've got the main power packs. At the top here you've got your diesel heater. It's an Eberspacher diesel heater. Like I say, the paperwork's in the front for this, but it's a pretty straightforward system. You just press it to wake it up, and it's like a scroll through select and return menu. So at the moment it's showing the heater symbol, says do you want the heater on. You press it to confirm. It asks you to select the temperature. You scroll it around to what temperature you might want it on. You confirm the temperature, and then it's confirming how long you want it on for, if you want it on constant. You press it to turn it on. The diesel heater lights up and it shows it's on. If you want to turn it off, you press it again. It says do you want to turn off. You confirm, and the light goes out. It's a thermostatically controlled diesel heating system. It's mounted underneath the vehicle on the chassis. Takes its own fuel direct out the fuel tank, and it takes its power direct from the leisure battery. Now the fuel supply for all these diesel heating systems is set slightly higher than the original vehicle fuel pickup. So as a good rule of thumb, as long as your fuel tank is out the red section or over like a quarter of a tank, it will always work okay. If you're into that last sort of section of the red section and your fuel gauge, there's a good chance the diesel heating system won't work. The bottom here you've got two 240 plugs. Now these two 240 plugs, they only become live when you're on hookup. At the end here you've got two USB charge points. They're live from the leisure battery at all times. There's no risk of draining the vehicle battery there, and you can use them at any time you might want. Modern power management system in the middle here. If you want to turn it on, you basically just turn the lights on first, which is a top right hand button. Now you've got touch sensitive LED lights throughout all of this. So you've got 3 lights in the kitchen, 2 lights over the back, 2 lights down on the passenger side, and then 2 uplighters in the roof. Once the lights are turned on, they're all touch sensitive LEDs, so you can touch any of the metal rims and they all turn off on and off individually. To the left of that we've got another light switch. On this conversion it doesn't do anything. If you press it, it will light up, but it won't do anything. Some people like to have external lights on their vans or use it as an auxiliary output, so it could be used for that in the future if you wanted to, but as standard on this conversion it's not used. Below that is your water pump, so if you press that, it'll light up. That will turn on the water pump for the tap in the kitchen, like so. Across on your left hand side here is your level gauges. Now the level gauges, they'll light up for about 5 to 10 seconds and then they'll time out. If you keep pressing them, it just extends the amount of time they're on. So if you press the top one here, it's got a battery with a truck inside of it, symbol next to it. If you press that, that gives you a rough reading on the right hand side there of how much power is in your vehicle battery. The middle one, which looks like a battery with a caravan body in it, if you press that, that will give you a rough reading on the right hand side of how much power is in your leisure batteries. And then the bottom one there looks like a water tank next to it, will give you a rough reading on the left hand side of how much water is in your water tank. Main thing to remember about this power pack is if you want to do anything with it, turn the lights on first. If you want to do the lights, do lights. If you want to do the water, do lights, then water. And if you want to do the levels, do lights and levels. By initially turning the lights on, it turns your power pack on. Back over into the kitchen here. We've obviously got the sink, which we've just shown you. Double gas hob here. They've got the piezo ignitions on them. Just turn the knob round, push it down, hold it for a few seconds, light it up, keep holding it down while it heats up the thermal coupler on it, and then you can just use it. Across in the back of the kitchen, we've got a sliding window. If you want to open it, you just press the plunger down, sliding it across to wherever you may want it. Now there is some cutouts on this, so you can lock it into place in the open or vent position, so you can just have it just open just slightly, or if you want to shut it properly, just make sure you push it all the way back across. In the roof here we've got 3 windows. They all unzip and you can roll them down. They've got nice poppers on them to keep them nice and neat. Top here, tear off ventilation strip, allowing ventilation for anybody who might be sleeping in the roof space. Roof beds go up and down on gas struts. Now they're hydraulic gas struts. They're the same gas struts that anyone might fit on these roof beds. They're strong enough to lift them up, hold them up should I say, but they're not strong enough to lift them automatically up. So just be careful putting it up or down. You get to about halfway, you will need to support it. If you're pushing up, you need to support to about halfway, and then it tends to take itself up. Like I say, they're not the strongest ones in the world. We don't want them being the strongest ones in the world, because if they are, they'll just end up keep pulling themselves out the woodwork here. They're literally there just to support the bed and keep it in the fully up position. In the roof space, you'll see across the back there is a sprung loaded strap. Now the sprung loaded strap that goes across the back there is a safety mechanism. So basically when we pull the roof down, the canvas will go flappy at the sides, and it's there to pull the tent in at the back and keep the tent away from the rear scissor mechanism. So if you've got any kids or anyone young who may fiddle in the roof space there, just make sure it's plugged in before you put the roof up or down. In the roof space here, we've got double mattress as standard, and these beds in the roof are adult rated, so they go up to 200 kilo load limit for the roof space. Underneath the front of the bed here as well, we've got child guard as well, so if you've got any young children you might be sleeping in the roof space, you can put the child guard up and then there won't be any risk of them falling out. To pull the roof down, we've got both the straps here that come down from the handles. So if you want to pull the roof down, you grab hold of both the handles, you pull the roof down nice and slowly, and just before it comes to the bottom, just tuck the canvas in at each side and then just pull the roof the rest of the way down. When you are putting the roof up or down, you do need to always make sure you put the roof up, then the roof bed up. If you want to put the roof down, you put the bed down first, then the roof down. You always need to move them both separately and independently. You do not want to risk getting in the canvas caught under the roof bed, because if you did then push the roof up, it can pull it through and damage the canvas. So make sure you always put them up and down individually. Now, to strap the roof down, we've normally got two straps here that go in the front cubby hole. Straps go in this way around. They go through the top first, then through the bottom. This part here is sprung loaded. Strap goes in through the back there. Pull it up so the buckle's in the middle, and then you just give it a tug down. Same with this side. Through the top first, then through the bottom. This part is sprung loaded. Pull it through, get it in the middle, give it a tug down. Now, once you pull both sides down, you go back and just revisit both sides, just making sure they're down okay. And the last check you should always do is get your finger around the back on the longest part of the strap, making sure there's some level of tension on there. You don't need to hang off them, but it does need to be some tension on it. So if there's tension on the back strap there, it's down okay. If it's flapping about, you've clearly done something wrong. Double passenger swivel seat in the front here. If you want some extra storage, you can keep the front seat a sharp pull, flip it over. There's extra storage there underneath the passenger swivel seat. Now, passenger swivel seats on these, they will turn round with a handbrake on, but they're an absolute pain. You're always better off putting it in first gear so it doesn't roll away, taking the handbrake off, and the swivel seats will turn around 10 times easier. Now, on the swivel seat, there's 4 of these locking pegs. 2 front, 2 rear. When we're normally in a camping position, we only put 2 in, but obviously when you're travelling forward, you need all 4 in for safety. So to remove them, we undo them, put them up, and they come loose, and there's a rope in there that comes through the gap, keeps the threads away from the turning mechanism. And these seats are the same technique whether this seat is facing forwards or backwards. You get hold of the seat once it's loose, shuffle it forward as far as you feel it's going to go. When it doesn't feel like it will go any further forward, you then slowly turn it around clockwise until it gets all the way round. Once it's all the way round, pull the seat back so the right hand rear is roughly overhanging where you think it should be. You let the bolt down, you put it in 2 or 3 threads, and then leave it and move on to the next one. Once you've got it in 2 or 3 threads, you can then pivot on that point and line the next one up. Again, putting it in 2 or 3 threads, and then you go around and do the front one. Once you've got everything nicely aligned, everything nicely started, you can then go around and tighten them down hand tight. You don't need to hang off them, you just need to nip these down hand tight so they're safe. Put the handbrake back on and put it back into neutral. Same, just hand tight the back bolts. Rock and roll bed in the back. We're going to release this as a release lever at the front here. Push the release lever down, pull the bed just slightly forward, pass the release mechanism, then you can forget about that part. Now, when we pull the beds out on these, the seat belts are going to extend around the frame, so we always suggest it's a lot easier to pull the seat belts out first. So if you grab hold of both buckles, pull the seat belts out so they come just past the end of the cushion. Hold them with one hand, put your other hand down the back of the bed, edging the seat forward until it's nearly all the way out, and you stand up, push the bed down from the top, and it will click into place. Now, the last section of pushing this bed down is you're pushing against the gas strut. Ultimately, the gas strut's there to aid lifting the bed back up, so there is some resistance on that last bit when you push it down. You don't need to worry about that. But to put the bed back up, it's the same release lever at the front here. You grab hold of the release lever, give it a push, and you'll see the bed starts to lift itself, and you can nice and easily just push it from the front, pushing it back into space, so it clicks into place. Just making sure it's all back and safe. If you've got any questions or queries at all, just pick the phone up and have a chat with us. Hopefully we've covered everything in this video for you. Hopefully you'll be happy with a lovely new van. And like I say, the lads will be down with you probably between 11 and 12 tomorrow. Yeah, hope you enjoy your new van, and thank you for your business.